Dear students, this is the video for Chapter 9, Part 1. How does housing affect the natural environment? In this video, we are going to examine the effects and impacts of building and living in housing on the natural environment. Housing developments in cities promote high-density living and increase the resource demands made of any surrounding area. When we examine the impacts of housing on the environment, we will need to consider the impacts of people living in these places, such as the use of electricity for powering up their devices, growing and obtaining the food to eat, impacts made on the environment by the extraction of water for sanitation, and the increase in space for the disposal of wastes. Living on these housing therefore create a strain on the natural resources, which need to be extracted and used. Living on these housing will also result in environmental pollution. Let's examine the factors in greater detail in this video. The two main effects of housing on the natural environment will be on the use of natural resources, as well as the creation of environmental pollution. In order for houses to be built, land will first have to be cleared. In many countries, the clearance of land will usually be on forested land, which mean the large-scale deforestation and depletion of forest resources. To illustrate the scale of the impact of forest removal, the World Wildlife Fund estimated that about 18.7 million acres of forests are lost each year, which is equivalent to 27 soccer fields every minute. As a result, the creation of cities and building of housing created a huge impact on forests, and the subsequent damages on resource reserves and the wildlife found within the forests. As the number of people grow in a city, the amount of resources used will increase greatly. Resources such as food, water and building material needed to build homes will be extracted from the natural environment. For example, steel is acquired through mining, wood from forests are used to make furniture and home, fossil fuels are used for generating electricity to power the electrical appliances. As a result, the large-scale extractions will create a serious depletion of these resources. Water is another example of the natural resources that is greatly depleted. Water is used in many different purposes in people's daily lives, and is used in almost all the production of manufactured goods that city residents require. Large cities extract as much as 80% of their water needs from surface water sources, and consume 504 billion liters of water a day. Apart from the extraction of resources from the natural environment, cities also pollute the natural environment. What is pollution? It is the introduction of substances that do not normally belong to the environment, which in large concentration can have harmful effects on plants, animals and humans. In an earlier chapter, you have learnt about air pollution and water pollution as challenges facing people living in cities, and some ways in which people manage these challenges sustainably. In a city, humans produce vast quantity of waste, especially in factories, offices, schools and homes. The waste produced by people can pollute the environment, and the land pollution can result in serious damage to the land. Examples of land pollution is contamination of soil by factory chemicals or by sewage. Long-term damage to land, making it unsafe for building houses. To dispose of the waste products, some cities choose to build landfills to dispose of the waste, creating a source of pollution. Many cities incinerate their waste to reduce the space needed. However, the leftover materials from incineration will still need to be managed properly to avoid pollution. Apart from land pollution, urban areas have the potential to pollute water in many ways. Firstly, surface runoff from the streets, which is the water flowing on the surface of the earth from roads, may carry many waste products such as oil, rubber, heavy metals and other contaminants from vehicles. When the surface runoff flow into water bodies, it results in these contaminants entering the water and causing pollution. Next, untreated or poorly treated sewage containing fecal coliform, nitrates, phosphorus and other chemicals. Leakages from the sewages into water bodies will seriously affect the water quality and result in water pollution. Lastly, other sources of contaminants such as from garbage dumps, toxic waste, chemical storage and use areas, leaking fuel storage tanks, and intentional dumping of hazardous substances may also the water quality, resulting water pollution. Lastly, let's examine air pollution as a type of environmental pollution, which pose serious problems to the cities today. Examples of causes of air pollution may be from the burning of fossil fuels for energy use and production, and from the emissions from industries and motor vehicles. Air pollution is a major environmental risk to health. This is the end of the video on Chapter 9, Part 1. How does housing affect the natural environment? Thank you.